live. We are live. Welcome to college football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do us well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this college football rebel outpost, the home for the college football sickos. With a donation, help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. Hit that $sign where you make your comment, and I'll get to you super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. We got 3 games here on the noon hour. LSU Vanderbilt, very important to the Southeastern Conference race. Very important for both those teams with the dreams of going to the college football playoffs. We have Washington and Michigan, a Big Ten clash. Both of them with an outside shot at still getting to the college football playoffs. We've got Duke and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is still undefeated. But Duke has been playing better lately. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I went with LSU and Vanderbilt. But man, I could have went with any of those 3 games. We're going to keep a close eye on Washington and Michigan. We're going to be keeping a close eye on Georgia Tech and Duke. Welcome on in, everybody. We got 2 games to talk about from what happened last night. First, we'll talk about the Miami Hurricanes. I struggled all off season. on what I was going to do with Louisville. And I kept coming back to the Louisville-Miami game. The game was going to be played at Hard Rock. The game was going to be at Miami. Louisville was not going to be about... Louisville Cardinals were not going to be able to hold up. Not against the Hurricanes' offensive line. I knew that Jeff Brown was going to have a good team this year. I knew that the Louisville Cardinals were going to be well coached. I know that Isaac Brown was a freshman superstar. I believe that Miller Moss was the correct fit at Louisville. I still am a little shook about what I saw last night. I don't know what really... I was watching both games. I was watching Nebraska, Minnesota, Miami. Isaac Brown is getting healthier. Louisville did a whole bunch of pre-snap motion, whole bunch of different packages that confused Miami early in the game. But it was Louisville's defense held up. It was like Carson Beck did not trust anybody but Malachi Toney. It almost like he wasn't trusting C.J. Daniels and the other weapons they've got at Miami. It looked like the running game could never establish dominance. Fletcher had some good physical runs. And Carson Beck, not a good night. Not a good night for former Georgia Bulldogs quarterbacks. Not a good night. Not a good night for Carson Beck. Now the question is, can Miami pick themselves up off the mat? They've got some tough games. They play at Pittsburgh. They've got some tough games for the rest of the season. Can the Hurricanes still make a run? And what about Louisville Cardinals? Jeff Brom and PJ Fleck both did last night what they do. Jeff Brom won another game against a top 5, top 10 opponent. If he's not winning those type of games, he's making those games close. And what about Minnesota? There is a psychological issue with the Nebraska Cornhuskers when they play the Minnesota Golden Gophers. One of these years they're going to break through, but it wasn't last night. The Golden Gophers got dominated by Rutgers. Dominated. They did not just get beat. They got dominated by Rutgers. And Rutgers, at the end of the game, said, oh, wait a second. We're winning this game. We're down. Here you go, Minnesota. Here's the win. You can have the win. Minnesota gets dominated by Purdue. Even worse than they got dominated by Rutgers. Purdue pushed the Gophers around for 60 minutes. But Purdue threw what? How many interceptions? And said, here is the game, Minnesota. You can have it. So Minnesota going against Nebraska, and we all know that Nebraska's tackles, they've been struggling. We know that Nebraska's been giving up rushing yards left and right. But my gosh, the Gophers dominated the line of scrimmage. Nebraska, I don't know what's going to happen. The O-line coach, Coach Raiola, if any other O-line coach had the performance of that offensive line coach for the last 3 years, especially at a place that invests so much money and so much commitment to the football program, that offensive line coach would be fired. However, he's the uncle to the starting quarterback, Dylan Raiola. And Dylan Raiola, okay, so there was one play in that game. It was on the 98-yard drive for Gophers. It was 3rd and 6. The ball was still at about the 25-yard line of Minnesota. They came out from their 2-yard line. It was about a 3rd and 6 call. Drake Lindsay went back to pass, and the ball came out of his hands, and it was a fastball to Brockington. Brockington caught it with his hands, kind of nestled in the zone, leaned forward, got about 8 yards, first down Minnesota. A friend of mine texted me right after that play and said, and this guy's a Cornhusker fan. He's a Cornhusker fan. And he texted me and he said, I haven't seen Dylan Raiola do that once this year. Where Dylan Raiola goes back a couple steps, three-step drop, and just trust his arm, trust the receiver, trust the route, trust his offensive line. Dylan Raiola, man, you don't have a good offensive line. Your offensive coordinator and Matt Rule, once again, doesn't stick to the running game at all, even though Emmett Johnson looked like he had so much juice last night, but you would not give him the rock. But Dylan Raiola, you hang on to the ball way too long. You've been doing this now for 2 years. You've got a lot of great talent, but you've got to get rid of the football, young man. There was a drive, and then we'll get off the Gopher game. Did Minnesota get a new offensive line? My prof. No. The only thing I can say, my prof, the only thing I can say is Michigan State gashed Nebraska. Maryland, the week before, going into that game against Nebraska, was 18th in the Big Ten in rushing, and Maryland racked up huge rushing yards against Nebraska. So I think it's more of we played the right team at the right time. Hopefully and Darius Taylor is getting more healthy. As Jose is saying, Darius Taylor is finally getting healthy. It takes him a half a year. Every year it takes him a half a year to get healthy. But there's one drive I want to talk about. No, there's 2 drives I want to talk about. And then we'll get off the Gophers game. 7-6. Nebraska starts with the ball. They gave the ball to Emmett Johnson. They gave the on a screen pass, a screen pass. They gave the ball to Emmett Johnson. Another 12-yard run. They're down to the Gophers' 43-yard line. First drive of the second half. And then they called 3 passing plays. And then they had to punt it. Because Raiola got sacked and... Okay. So here they are, Emmett Johnson, they're running the ball, 3 passing plays. Raiola gets sacked. And at that point, it was like his 6th sack of the day. And then Minnesota went on a 98-yard drive, scored a touchdown. 14-6, right? Nebraska gets the ball back again, down 14-6. And Dana Holgorsen, Cornhuskers offensive coordinator, calls 3 more pass plays. 3 and out. And Raiola didn't even get rid of the football in any of those play calls. The ball never left his hand. He got sacked. He ran for a couple yards, got killed, got sacked again, and then they had to punt it. So after Emmett Johnson ran for 12, after Emmett Johnson had 2 big plays, he had so much juice. Emmett Johnson is from Minneapolis. Emmett Johnson, this was his return. This was his revenge game. And they wouldn't give him the football. In a close game. I don't know. There's something wrong in Lincoln. And the one thing that is not wrong in Lincoln is the fans who keep supporting that program. Incredible fan base. Unbelievable. But that is the one thing that is not wrong in Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay. So, let me do a roll call here real quick. And then we are going to be talking football. AMAC is in the house. Al Woody is here. Here we go. Gold Nose. Preston from Greensboro. I hate everything to do with college football. Oh my God. Oh my God. North Carolina. Heartbreak City. AMAC, I'm beginning to agree with you, Preston. How about them Gophers? They just have Nebraska's number every single year, every time. It's six in a row. Nebraska fans have got to be so upset. What a day it was. Miami fall and the Dodgers win. Otani. Probably the greatest baseball player that has ever lived. He's playing for the Dodgers right now. The architect is in the house, celebrating 25 years of marriage. 3 beautiful boys with my wife. Enjoy today's game. PATC. The architect. The architect. Wow. Aww. Congratulations, architect. Congratulations. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What is for lunch? It is LSU and Vanderbilt. Adam, have you guys seen the brawl that happened inside the stadium last night between Miami fans? I have not seen that. It was between Miami fans, or was it some Miami Louisville fans? Preston from Greensboro, Miami is going to Miami. The Fighting Golden Gophers roll the Huskers. Adam, last night was textbook Miami, empty stadium for a number 2 team, and the ones that they were fighting amongst each other, and they wonder why SEC won't consider them. Wow. Kenneth Strom, BYU Cougar, is in the house. The BYU Cougars have a big, big football game today. The Holy War. Ooh. Tension is high. Tension is high. Jose is in the house, and he's saying Georgia Tech is going to win the ACC, the Georgia Tech Rambling Wreck. Jose might be correct. Might be correct. The architect, parody college football is not broken. So many possibilities. Mario always lost to the middle pack teams at Oregon. I would not consider Louisville a middle of the pack team. They're definitely upper echelon of the ACC. Bill Belichick continues to lose. From the ashes, the Gophers have risen. 149 yards rushing for Taylor. Now again, just so we don't have a parade quite yet in the studios here in Maple Grove, Minnesota. As much trouble as Nebraska has against my beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers, the Golden Gophers are owned by the Iowa Hawkeyes. Minnesota plays Iowa in Iowa City next weekend. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Iowa versus Penn State to see how Iowa performs in that game. Iowa just defeated Wisconsin 37-0. So as much as Minnesota has owned Nebraska, Iowa has owned Minnesota even more in the recent decade. So we'll see what happens. Don Scruggs, Raiola is overrated. I'm starting to believe in Don Scruggs. I'm starting to believe in Don Scruggs, the Georgia Bulldogs. Humble Bumble Duck is in the house. Humble Bumble Duck. Charlie Atwood, thanks for the Gophers beating Nebraska. I really did not want Rule as the head coach at Penn State. Now, my question is, does that rule? Does that one game rule out Matt Rule to be the head coach of Penn State? What if Nebraska defeats Northwestern next week? What if Nebraska wins 8 games this year? What if Nebraska goes 8-4? That's the most wins for Nebraska since 2017. Did that one game, it was a brutal performance by Nebraska, but did that rule out Matt Rule for Penn State? Did you see Jordan Acker's tweet, Greg? Bang Mises. Was it today? Was the tweet today? Send it to me. Send me a DM. Flug Empire at Flug Empire. You see it on the ticker right below the screen. Send that tweet to me. If you can, bang Mises. We got ourselves our first super chat of the day. Thank you for starting us off. Preston from Greensboro, North Carolina. Good luck to everyone's team except for Duke. Thank you for the $5 holla. Thank you for the $5 holla, Preston from Greensboro. I appreciate it. Good luck to everyone except Duke. Don Scruggs believes in Minnesota. Wow. BYU all the way. BYU, Utah, man. BYU, Utah. Yogi Buck Sr., it was a kid getting beat up by 5 men. I did not see that. Yogi Buck Sr. says Brian Kelly might be available soon. Well, there would be a market for Brian Kelly. There is going to be if LSU can't get it done today, they falter, they don't go to the playoffs, there is going to be a market for Brian Kelly. Up in the north, no more in the south. Very interesting. Expedition Greg is in the house. Expedition Greg called the Gophers win as well. Expedition Greg was very confident. Expedition Greg, thank you for the $2 holla super chat. Nine sacks from Minnesota is the most since 1977. That 1977 Gopher team was pretty special. I was 9 years old at the time. The Gophers had been terrible throughout the 70s. Not that I remember, but I do remember 19. I remember, I think the first year I really remember was 1975. Because I remember Tony Dungy being the quarterback. I remember watching Tony Dungy out there on the football field for the Gophers. 1977, the Gophers went 7-4. They lost to those evil Maryland Terrapins in a bowl game. But in that season, the Gophers defeated Washington, non-conference game. They defeated UCLA, non-conference game. One of those two teams in the Pac-12 went to the Rose Bowl. I don't remember which team. You can go look it up. But they defeated both of them, Washington and UCLA. Oh, and the Gophers in 1977 also defeated the number 1 team in the country that year, the Michigan Wolverines. The Gophers defeated Michigan 16-0. So the Gophers beat Michigan, who was the Big Ten's Rose Bowl team, and the Pac-12 Rose Bowl team in that 1977 season. They went 7-4. They lost the bowl game. Rec Talk called for a quote on alien abduction insurance last night during his watch party. I don't know what that... first of all, I love listening to Rec Talk. I wish I had Rec Talk's voice. I don't know what that means. But I would like it as well. I would like a quote as well. All right, we're getting close to it here, guys. We're getting close. It's Vanderbilt and LSU, and there is a lot of drama. Let me know what Acker's tweet is or post. If that is an old one, the Michigan Regent, or is that something new? Somebody let me know. Look, let's be honest here. There is a lot of pressure on Brian Kelly. Not Charlie Lee. It's on Brian Kelly. That offense has got to score over 20 points. 20 points ain't going to get it done against Vanderbilt. I know LSU's got a very, very, very good defense. Vanderbilt is going to figure out a way to score 20. LSU's got to go over the top on that. Can the LSU Tigers score over 20 points? Yes? No? I heard, now I do not watch Game Day, but I did hear about 2 minutes of Franklin and Saban talking with each other. And James Franklin says, he basically said, we did not get it done for 12 years. Our goal was to win the national championship. They won a lot of games, but it is still my goal. Wherever I go next, I'm going to try to win the national championship. Basically what he said. Okay, let me, we got Scotty Fox, the true freshman quarterback at West Virginia, is going to be starting today. He'd be the first true freshman quarterback to start for the Mountaineers in nearly 75 years. Wow. Scotty Fox. I know a lot of Mountaineer thinks he's the future. Looks like he's going to have to be the present. We've got a super chat. Has been. Thank you for the $2 holla. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the Gophers win 6 straight against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The last time Nebraska has defeated Minnesota was October 20th, 2018. That's a long time. Again, I don't know. Nebraska hasn't won more than 3 Big Ten conference games in a season since 2017 or 16. Been a long time struggle for Nebraska. I still think, in some ways, I don't know. They've got talent. They've got some talent on that team. They didn't want to run a crossing pass to Barney. I don't know what they were doing. I really don't know what they were doing. I don't know what Nebraska was doing. I never know what Nebraska is doing against Minnesota. And Nebraska fans are just, they are incredible. Minnesota is better than Nebraska. Well, I did not think Minnesota was going to win last night. I did not think Minnesota was going to win last night. Minnesota has been better than Nebraska for years. That's a fact. That's not. I'm not being a homer. Just look at the records. Look at everything. Everything except for recruiting rankings. Minnesota has been better than Nebraska. I look at the total of Big Ten wins since 2017. It's not even close. Look at the number of bowl victories. Not even Nebraska's got 1. Minnesota's got 6. PJ Fleck has won 7 games against top 25 ranked teams. He's got 7 wins against ranked teams. Nebraska's 0 for 28 in the last 28 games against ranked opponents. Nebraska's had one guy in the last decade, 9 years or something, that has been drafted in the first or second round of the NFL draft. Minnesota has had a guy drafted in the first or second round 6 years in a row. Every statistic you look at, Minnesota has been a much better football program, unless you just want to look at recruiting rankings, viewership numbers, and ticket sales, which Nebraska kicks Minnesota's butt in. But everything else, it's Nebraska fan base deserves so much better. That is one of the greatest fan bases in this country. It is, guys. It is. They deserve so much. And they're great fans. It's just, they're great people. Nebraska's got, they've got a great fan base. But anyways, it's, I don't know. We'll see we'll see if Matt Rule can, they gotta be able to get, they've got to get better. The offensive line has been a disappointment for years, so they got to get some guys who can play. Hey, Greg, are you worried that Penn State might come after your coach? No, I'm not worried about that. I do think PJ Fleck is going to get calls again. Every year he gets everybody in football outside of Minnesota Golden Gopher fans, everybody in football wants to see PJ Fleck be in control of a football program that has high elevated resources and see what he can do. Everybody wants to see him at a place that they can recruit, that's got a recruiting ground around them. Everybody wants to see it. I think PJ Fleck wants to see it. So I don't blame him if he has to scratch that itch. Because these coaches are always thinking, boy, what could I do if I could just get that type of job? It's natural, man. These guys are competitive. So I don't blame PJ Fleck if he leaves and takes another job. What he has done in Minnesota has been remarkable, and he's going to leave the place a lot better than when he came here. But there's a very good chance he doesn't leave, though. I do know, and it has been said, it was said all during last season, all during this season, PJ Fleck absolutely believes that Drake Lindsay is going to be one of the greats. That is what that comes out of the Minnesota. All the beat reporters, PJ Fleck has told them on the record, off the record, and he's not BSing. Drake Lindsay is he is, he's going to be very special. And now PJ Fleck goes somewhere and takes Drake Lindsay with them, okay? But I just think that PJ probably wants to stick around for a couple more years and have Drake Lindsay be his quarterback, because we've never had that type of talent. Never. We can't recruit that type of talent at Minnesota because we're a running football team, except for this year, until we play Nebraska. We can't recruit quarterbacks because we can't throw the football. We are Wisconsin. Wisconsin is us. Except Wisconsin has been able to do it at a much higher level than us. But we're basically the same football program. But they got more resources and everything else. So now we got a quarterback who can actually 6'5" and can throw an unbelievable accurate. He's just a really good quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman, and next year he's going to be. It's going to be fun to watch Drake Lindsay. So, Tommy Frazier was great. Tommy Frazier. I agree, Yogi Buck Sr. That kid was tough, too. Not only talented, but tough. Absolutely tough. Thank you, Hasbin. Thank you for the $2 holla. I very much appreciate it. We got another super chat. Here comes Vanderbilt. Here comes Vanderbilt. Running on their home stadium. Expedition Greg, super chat. I'll make a prediction. Minnesota will bring that Florida Rosedale back home next week. Iowa City has been a house of horrors for the Gophers. Just like we've been a house of horrors for Nebraska. We'll see. I wonder what the line is going to be on that game. We'll see how Iowa does against Penn State today. So, Skaven, yes, here to take my punishment. Thank you, Expedition Greg. I appreciate the $5 holla. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support to the channel. I'm very humbled. Thank you so very much. Skaven, yes. I don't know what to say, my man. Mr. Cornhusker, PATC Cornhusker. First of all, I've been saying it all during this live show, pre-game LSU Vanderbilt, that the Nebraska Cornhusker fan base is incredible and deserves so much more than what you're getting. I think you're in a tough spot because I think your O-line coach shouldn't really be your O-line coach anymore. But his nephew is the starting quarterback, and he's going to be the starting quarterback next year. That's one problem. Number two, Skaven, yes. Emmett Johnson should have gotten the rock. He had that 12-yard run, first possession of the second half, and Nebraska threw the ball 3 times, had to punt. And then Minnesota went 98 yards and scored a touchdown, 98-yard drive, and Nebraska came out and threw the ball 3 more times, and Dylan Raiola never could make the ball. He couldn't throw the ball, but it was 3 passing plays in a row. Why did they go away from Emmett Johnson? You could tell he had so much juice last night. It was going to be his revenge game for Minnesota not recruited him. PJ Fleck to Notre Dame. PJ Fleck, his family are big Notre Dame fans. His mom and dad are big Notre Dame fans. Don't ask me how I know. I just know. They are. I'm not going to get any. I'm not going to say anything more. All right, guys, here we go. Vanderbilt, LSU. It is a very important game for Brian Kelly. It's a very exciting game for Vanderbilt. Can you imagine if Vanderbilt wins this game? Let's take a look at the standings here. Let's take a look at the Southeastern Conference standings. Ole Miss 3-0. Alabama 3-0. Texas A&M 3-0. Georgia 3-1. LSU 2-1. The Tigers cannot afford to lose this game. And then you got Vanderbilt 1-1, 5-1 overall. This is a swinging gate game for LSU Tigers and Vanderbilt. The winner can dream, dream, dream. The loser is out of the Southeastern Conference race. Because we don't have automatic qualifiers. But to get to the SEC, not yet anyways, but to get to the SEC championship game, the LSU Tigers, Vanderbilt cannot afford to lose this game. But again, LSU kickoff. LSU Tigers are going to start with the football. Again, this Vanderbilt game is playing with house money. Vanderbilt is playing with house money. They've got no pressure on them. They can play loose, baby. They can play loose. It's the LSU Tigers that have got all the expectations, all the pressure put on them. So buckle up. Let's go. Let's go. Keep your eye on Duke and Georgia Tech. Michigan, Washington, Duke and Georgia Tech. Very important games. Handoff, LSU. Now again, that running game hasn't been going anywhere. That running game has been very disappointing. Barry and Brown. If you look at Barry and Brown in our screen here, Barry and Brown, he's had a pretty good start of the season, halfway through the season. He leads the Tigers offense. But besides him, not a whole lot of offense for the LSU Tigers. Nussman is in a shotgun, 2nd and 10. High pass, complete. Is going to be 3rd and 5. Now, Caden Durham got the call, got the rush, first play of the game. No yards. Even Caden Durham, he's only averaging 4.2 yards per rush for LSU. Last year, LSU did not have a physical running game. This year, they're struggling now. 3rd and 6. 29-yard line, shotgun. First possession, Nussmeier, rush, gets rid of it. Ooh, that was a great pass. First down, LSU Tigers. Great pass by Nussmeier. Flat pass, got him a couple yards there. It's going to be 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. Boston College and UConn has started. Georgia Tech and Duke has started. Arizona, a quick 7-0 lead over the Houston Cougars. Houston is 5-1, 2-1 in the Big 12. Big game for the Houston Cougars. Home game, Big 12 against Arizona. Pass complete again. Nussmeier on target. On target. Quick pass. Another 6 yards for LSU. Good start. Very good start to the Tigers. Okay, Washington and Michigan has kicked off. I'm going to be about 10 seconds behind you guys on the Washington-Michigan game. Very important Big Ten game. The winner still is in the Big Ten race. The loser, not so much. Christopher Hooter, go Tigers. Christopher Hooter, LSU's looking sharp. 2nd and 4, Nussmeier, very accurate right now. Very accurate, handoff. Little bit short. Durham is about a half a yard short. It's going to be third, not about a third in a yard. Third in a yard. And he has a little gimp to his step. He's got to come out. He's been battling. Caden Durham has been a little nicked up. Brian Kelly says it's the first down, but it ain't. It's 3rd and 1. Brian Kelly's yelling at the ref, but it's not a first down. It's 3rd and 1. No pre-snap penalty. No pre-snap penalty. There you go. There's a hole. Big run. First down. First down LSU. We've got a super chat from the legendary PATC family member. He is the OG. The Evil Badger has stepped into the chat room, into the studio, hoping this is the last game I see Fickle on the sideline as Wisconsin's head coach. Nussmeier goes down. Big sack, Vanderbilt. 2nd and long. It could be. Ryan Willie, I'm starting to believe in you. I'm starting to believe in your Badger senses. Your tingling Badger senses. It could be. It could be after this game or the Oregon game. I thought they would wait till the end of the season, but there is one thing that's going on that Wisconsin can't control, and that the coaching carousel is starting to fill up. Ooh, incomplete. Drop pass. If they're going to let Luke Fickell go and they want to get going on calling agents, and I think Ryan Willie might end up being correct here. Thank you for the $5 holler, Ryan Willie. I think Luke Fickell might be gone before the end of the season. I did not think that was possible, but I think I might have to take the big L on that. It is 3rd and 13, and LSU calls a timeout. Fickell is toast no matter what. Is the toast coming out of the toaster after the Buckeye game or after the Oregon Duck game? Or does the toast come out of the toaster at the end of the season? I thought it would be at the end of the season, because that's the Wisconsin, but maybe not. I think the only coach that will lose their job is Billy Napier. I think Billy Napier probably will lose his job in a matter of possible hours. Sometime this season. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Better days ahead, Evil Badger. Better days ahead. Washington and Michigan. Washington just ran for a first down. Denman Williams got outside, and now Jonah Coleman for 5 yards. Duke and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's got the football at the 50-yard line, 3 minutes into the game. No scores: LSU, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Duke, Washington, and Michigan. Arizona and Houston are tied at 7-7, 4 minutes into the game. 4 minutes into the game is tied at 7-7. Baylor, TCU, tied. Army, Tulane. Bowling Green, 3. Central Michigan, 0. Miami of Ohio, 0. Eastern Michigan, 0. Charles M., go Tigers. Go Tigers. Thanks for coming on in, Charles M. Appreciate it. Almighty Finn, hope it's a better day for the Knowles. Fickle should consider going to a G6 school to be a head coach. That's what he did at Cincinnati. Cincinnati was a G5 school at the time. I think he'd do well in the MAC, for example. Thank you, Wet Blanket. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I got to be honest, I was a little surprised, especially at the way how it happened. A lot of you had the advantage of not watching Minnesota against Purdue, Minnesota against Rutgers. Minnesota got those 2 wins, but they were dominated. And a lot of you did not watch those 2 games, and I don't blame you, because there are other bigger games going on. But if you had watched those 2 games, I think you would have doubted the Golden Gophers big time going into last night's game. But Nebraska has their own issues. Ooh! That was almost picked off, incomplete. 4th and 13. Stephen Vitt, I just want my Bobcats to beat Northern Illinois. Field goal attempt. Field goal attempt. Oh, it's good. It's good. All right. Now, we talked about it. LSU has to find a way to score more than 20 points this game. I don't think 20 is going to be enough. I know LSU Tigers defense is very, very good. But I think Vanderbilt is going to find a way to get over 20 points. LSU needs to score more than 20 points. They got points on the first drive. It's all good, LSU. It's all good. 4th and 12. Washington is going to have to punt the ball to Michigan. The Big House, Ann Arbor. Michigan, Washington. Very important Big Ten game. Georgia Tech, 3rd and 12 at their 48-yard line. And they called a timeout. Vanderbilt's running it back on a return. He's in the open. He's going down to the 44-yard line. Very good punt return by kickoff return, by Vanderbilt. Good field position. And we talked a little bit about the Miami game, Miami-Louisville. Jeff Brom, Louisville Cardinals do it again. The first drive was a touchdown, all that trick plays and all those different packages, all that pre-snap movement. Wow, Jeff Brown, man, you could tell he did a lot of work on that first drive of that game. Miami's defense settled down after that, but Louisville kept getting yards. kept getting enough yards, enough first downs, and then they were able to have multiple interceptions against Carson Beck. Not a good game by Carson Beck. Not a good night for the two former Georgia Bulldogs. At least one was committed, Dylan Raiola, and the other one played Carson Beck. Louisville looked good last night. They're a good football team. They're a good football team. And again, I struggled with my prediction. Louisville, Miami. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I settled on Miami. Screen pass, Vanderbilt. They got about 6 yards on that. Louisville's got a good team, and Isaac Brown looks like he's getting healthy. There were times last night where he looked very healthy. But then, he had to come out the field. I think he might had some, maybe not quite in condition yet. Third and 4, Pavia, Eli Stowers, the great tight end. First down, Vanderbilt. That was a great catch. That guy has a very large catch radius. Mr. Stowers, that kid's a player. That young man is first team all SEC for a reason. Oh, he got nailed. That receiver got launched. But he's coming up okay, a couple of yards. He's all right. Stephen Vitt. Unless UNLV stays steady, I believe the G6 spot will go to the American Conference. I agree. I think the American Conference champion is probably going to get that spot. UNLV is probably going to have to go undefeated to have a chance. 2nd and 6. Nothing there in the run game. LSU Tigers, they shut that down. LSU got some penetration in the middle of that field. Push back that center. Hey, Greg, is it possible for another school to get Brom away from Louisville? I think it's probably going to be very, very difficult. Jeff Brom is a superstar at Louisville. He was the great quarterback at Louisville. Jeff Brom was coming off a Big Ten championship appearance. Another great catch. Another first down, Vanderbilt. It's going to be very difficult. I don't think it's impossible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. Duke looking tough in person. Looks like a mismatch early. Thank you, Kenneth Maynard. I appreciate you checking in on us, sir. Boy, LSU shutting that run game down early here. Darian Mensah. 3rd and 1. 8-yard completion from Mensah, Duke quarterback. UConn 7, Boston College 3. Arizona is up 14-7 against Houston. That Houston's defense has been very good here at the first half of the season, but Arizona's been able to get 14 points midway through the first quarter. Duke got a first down at Georgia Tech's 39-yard line. What happens to the ACC race if Duke pulls off this upset? Who is the better coach, Janetti or Braum? Well, Signetti or Brown? Well, it all depends on what you are. I mean, Jeff Braum has the much longer success at a Power 4 program. Signetti has done in 1.5 years at Indiana is more than remarkable. It's miraculous. So is anybody better than Kirk Signetti right now? Incomplete Michigan. Nobody's better than Signetti right now, but again, it's kind of like, what are you looking for? Jeff Braum makes defensive coordinators across the country uncomfortable. Because what Jeff Braum does is he basically runs the college football version of the West Coast offense. He never has his quarterback go back to pass and not have at least 2 different hot route options. Like, he never leaves his quarterback out to dry. Jeff Braum rarely does max protection. Jeff Braum needs a very intelligent quarterback to run his offense. That's why Miller Moss was I thought was a great pickup. Jeff Braum is not looking for his quarterback to run around and make plays with his legs. He wants his quarterback to make quick reads and then get rid of the football. That's Jeff Braum's offense. Not big plays. Dump, 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 dump. Hot route. This guy's blitzing over here. He knows he's got his running back or receiver doing a quick slant over there. Thank you, Illini Ted. I appreciate it. MBM checking in from America's greatest homecoming. Raining down here in God's country. Go Pokes. Thanks for coming on in, MBM. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Fumble recovery. Scooping a score. 7-0 Georgia Tech, I got to tell you. Vanderbilt, 2nd and 10. Georgia Tech, man, everything's coming up beautiful for the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech. 2nd and 10. Second and 15. Vanderbilt. First time with the football. Driven down to the 21-yard line of LSU. Pavia. He's going to run it wide open. Wide open. He's got first down at the 1-yard line. No, one guy is saying a touchdown. I don't think he's in. I don't think he's in.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Let's take a look. Pavia. Yeah, he's going to be a half a yard short. I'm not going to mark it. I am not going to mark the score. He's a half a yard short, ladies and gentlemen. Half a yard short. Georgia Tech goes up a quick 7-0 on a defensive scoop and score. Washington, Michigan tied at 0, but Michigan's got the ball. Big injury to Michigan's offensive lineman there, being taken out on a stretcher. First and goal. We got a flag. Was it offsides on LSU? Yeah, offsides on LSU. That's what I thought. First and goal again for Vanderbilt. There it is.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Vanderbilt takes 7-3 lead over LSU. First drive, LSU was able to get points, a field goal. First drive, Vanderbilt touchdown. Again, LSU is going to have to score more than 20 points to win this football game. That is the reality of it. Can they do it? Can they keep the offense going? They had a good first drive, LSU. But they can't sputter now. LSU's offense is going to have to win a football game for them, in my opinion. Georgia Tech, 7-0. UConn, 7-3 over Boston College. Washington and Michigan, Bryce Underwood pass incomplete. Washington takes over the ball at their 33-yard line. Arizona, 14-7 over Houston. Baylor, 7. TCU, nothing. Tulane, big game against Army in the American. Tulane is 2-0 in the American. The game is tied at 0-0. Yeah, Michigan lost their left tackle. Injury. Out on a stretcher. And then Michigan could not get the first down. Mm. Mm. I think Michigan's defense is going to have a great game against the speedy Huskies offense. Michigan's defense really needs to win this game for the Wolverines today. I don't think they're going to get much help from their offense. Let me know what y'all thinking. Poll question up. Will LSU score points on their next drive? Vanderbilt up 7-3. LSU did score points on their first drive. Tulane has got it in the red zone of Army. Tulane is 5-1, 2-0 in the American. Arizona is going to have to punt the ball. They're up 14-7. Washington is driving the football. They're in the red zone. Big Ten game. Washington and Michigan. Very important. Very important game in the Big Ten race. Oh! Got loose! First down, LSU. 5 more seconds on the voting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 88% of you say no. LSU Tigers will not score points on this drive. LSU, a very good first down play, but it was called for a holding. You know, the Gophers ran a bubble screen to Jalen Smith, their freshman receiver, and the Gophers scored, and they missed an obvious, brutal hold on the Gophers. Similar play with LSU here. Not quite the same play. But that was one call that the Gophers got very fortunate, is when the Gophers went up 21-6. 7-3. LSU Tigers, 2nd and 12. Third and 10. 2:20 to go in the first quarter. Twenty-four and a half yard line. Can Vanderbilt make a stop? Nessmeyer shotgun. We got trips left. Back to pass. He's getting rushed. Oh, God, he got it in there. The receiver is well covered. First down, LSU. Nessmeyer might have a little bit of a hamstring problem there. Oh, he got hit in the back of the leg. What a throw. Those were the type of throws Nessmeyer was making last year. We got an injury. It looks like to an offensive lineman. Looks like it's to an offensive lineman. Washington missed a field goal. 36-yard field goal missed by Grady Gross. Washington and Michigan remains tied 0-0. Duke has got the ball in the red zone of Georgia Tech. First down and 10. Darian Mensah is dealing. Darian Mensah is 9 of 10. 10 of 11 for 130 yards. 10 of 11 for 130. Darian Mensah. That kid is no joke. No joke. Good first down run by LSU down at the 50-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 1. 2nd and 1. Go deep. Incomplete. 3rd and 1. Thank you, Don Scruggs. Don't forget to like and subscribe and get yourself notified. We got a penalty, pass interference on Vanderbilt. They're calling pass interference on that play. That looked like good defense to me. First down and 10 LSU. Got a yard. 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. End of the first quarter. Georgia Tech is up 7-0 against Duke. Duke does have the ball at Georgia Tech's 20-yard line. 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. 2nd and 9, Vanderbilt. Michigan's got the ball. It is 0-0 nearing the end of the first quarter. Big run again by LSU. Another first down. Remember, 88% of you that voted said no, LSU would not score points on this drive. Okay, Michigan first down. That was a good throw by Bryce Underwood. Touchdown, Michigan. That is what you can do when you have that type of arm talent. That little bubble screen, instead of floating it in there, he put the ball right where the receiver did not have to hesitate, where he did not have to slow down. I mean, that was a great flick of the wrist throw by Bryce Underwood. That's talent right there, baby. That is high skill level. Michigan goes up, quick touchdown, not a quick touchdown, but end of the first quarter touchdown. Take a 7-0 lead on Washington. Hoover with a touchdown pass. Thank you, Wet Blanket. 2nd and 5 at the Georgia Tech's 12-yard line. Darian Mensah, even though Duke has not scored yet, he is dealing early in this game. Josh Hoover, DJ Rogers, 8-yard for a touchdown. TCU looking to tie it up with an extra point. Houston Cougars. Very important game for Willie Fritz. They're 5-1 overall. They're 2-1 in the Big 12. Arizona, 14-7. The Wildcats have the lead, but the Cougars are looking to tie it up. Let's take a look at the other Big 12 games going on. This is a big Big 12 weekend. Look at this. We got... Oh, touchdown! LSU!
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Nessmeyer to Green.
Touchdown!
Oh, what a drag route, tight end, drag route, tight end, a little misdirection. Boom, boom, 10-7. We got a ball game here. We got a ball game. 88% of you voted that LSU would not score a touchdown, not points on that drive. So the PATC Einsteins are being very cool lately. You've been very cool, and not in a good way. Very cold. Tigers touchdown, Christopher Hooter. LSU is now kicking off, up 10-7. Neither offense have been forced to punt in this game. 3 drives, 3 scoring drives. Coy was the only person to believe in the LSU Tigers when it came to that voting. Scott Grable. Hi, everyone. Hi, Greg. How you doing, Mr. Roll Tide? Scott Grable. Alabama. Looking real good. Looking real good. That quarterback, Ty Simpson, has said, the fat guy from Minnesota, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth on my... Oh, what a play. First down, Vanderbilt. Good run. Ty Simpson, starting quarterback of Alabama, is doing what Bo Nix did to me a couple of years ago, what Cam Ward did to me last year. Ty Simpson is saying the fat guy from Minnesota doesn't know squat. Brilliant play by Ty Simpson. First down and 10, Vanderbilt. Good running play on the first down. Shotgun. Hands it off. No. Play action. Pavia rolling out. Looks like he's going to take. Nope, he's going to throw it away. Second and 10. He got out of the pocket. Got the ball to the first down marker. Thank you, Mr. Grable. How that game was played was a complete shock to me. Second and 10. Oh. Arizona still has a 14-7 lead. Houston did not score. Baylor TCU tied up at 7. Good running play by Vanderbilt. Is going to be third down and manageable. Third down and manageable. Okay, let's go through the Big 12. I'm sorry. I was going to go through that. Arizona's up by 7. Baylor and TCU are tied. West Virginia, UCF will kick off in a couple of minutes. West Virginia is starting a true freshman quarterback, Scotty Fox. For the first time in nearly 75 years, West Virginia is starting a true freshman quarterback. Texas Tech, Arizona State. Pavia rolls out. Pavia rolls out. Pavia rolls out. He got first down. First down. Texas Tech, Arizona State. The Red Raiders. The Red Baron Morton. Their QB1 is not going to play today. It's going to be Will Hammond, their backup quarterback. The 7th-ranked Red Raiders playing their backup quarterback, Will Hammond. Will Hammond has looked really good in the times that he has played this year. Then you got the Holy War, Utah versus BYU. That is going to be a very dramatic battle against those two teams that do not like each other. Utah, BYU, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State. Cincinnati is 3-0 in the Big 12. Going on the road, they're over a 3-touchdown favorites. Cincinnati Bearcats are looking to be 4-0 in the Big 12. And head coach Satterfield is nowhere on the hot seat list any longer for this season. We'll go through the ACC next. Been through the Big 12. The games that are being played, ACC is next. Pavia, complete. Sidearm throw, first down, Vanderbilt. Georgia Tech, Duke. Duke has got the ball back, first down and 10. Georgia Tech has a 7-0 lead off a defensive scoop and score. UConn up 14-6 over Boston College, but Boston College is in the red zone. Later on, it's SMU versus Clemson. SMU is 2-0 in the ACC. Clemson is 2-2. Very important game in the ACC. Pavia is going to run it. He gets some yards. It's going to be about 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. Virginia, Washington State. Virginia, the 18th team in the land, had a bye week last week. Washington State. Pittsburgh, Syracuse. The Panthers with a new lease on life with the freshman quarterback, Mason Heinschelt. The Panthers are 2-1. Syracuse is 1-2. Then the Seminoles need to win this game. They're 0-3 in the ACC versus Stanford, 1-2. That is your ACC games for this weekend. And of course, Louisville upset in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, 24-21. Louisville is 2-1 in the ACC. Miami is 1-1 in the ACC. We got first down and 10 Vanderbilt. We are going to go to the Big Ten next. Michigan is up 7-0 over Washington. LSU 10, Vanderbilt 7, Georgia Tech 7, Duke 0. Pavia shotgun, 28-yard line. LSU got some major penetration there, but Vanderbilt was able to get a 2-yard gain. Not much of a running attack for Vanderbilt outside of Pavia. The Big Ten. Let's take a quick look. Michigan is up 7-0 over Washington. Northwestern is 2-1 in the Big Ten. They play Purdue today. They play Nebraska next week at Lincoln. Northwestern can make a move in the Big Ten with the win over Purdue today. Pavia back to pass. Wide open receiver. Wide open. He tries to hurdle. First down, Vanderbilt inside the 5-yard line. The Buckeyes and the Badgers. Is this going to be Luke Fickell's last game as Wisconsin's head coach? Michigan State and Indiana. Can Indiana keep it perfect? 6-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten. Oregon and Rutgers. Watch out, Oregon. Watch out. That's all I'm going to say. Rutgers offense has legitimate NFL players. Rutgers offense with Storm, Vanderbilt going, he couldn't quite get in there. You've got Storm as the wide receiver. You've got a hell of a running back. You got a pretty good offensive line. And Nathan Kaliakmanis, the Greek rifle, can get hot. Oregon defense, you better show up. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say another word. Penn State, Iowa. We don't know what we're going to get out of Penn State today. We know what we're going to get out of Iowa. They're going to play hard. They're going to be in it for 60 minutes. They're going to make a special teams play. We do not know what we're getting out of Penn State. Vanderbilt option. Pavia keeps it. He got smashed. It's 3rd and goal at the half-yard line. Maryland, UCLA. Maryland lost a heartbreaker to Nebraska. UCLA has been winning the last couple of football games. UCLA is at home. The Bruins can go 3-1 in the Big Ten. USC and Notre Dame. This is going to be, again, there's going to be bad weather, though. There's going to be bad weather. Pavia, I don't think he got it. It's going to be 4th and goal. 4th and goal. USC versus Notre Dame. The loser is out. The winner has got a front seat pathway to the playoffs. USC, Notre Dame, big rivalry game. And again, last night, the Golden Gophers, 24, Nebraska 6. 4th and goal. And then we'll go to the SEC next. We've been through the ACC, Big 12, Big 10 games today. 4th and 1. Pavia, hands off. That's a touchdown. He got over. That's a touchdown. That is a touchdown.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Wow, what a football game. What a football game we are watching. My goodness. Vandy's new end zone looks good. GB is not much interested in this LSU Vandy game. Actually watching Oklahoma, South Carolina. Who do y'all think is going to win the USC Notre Dame? I think it's going to be a coin flip, Scott Grable. I think the line in that game is ridiculous. That 9.5 point spread is outrageous. It's outrageous. That running back got over the line. His feet were at the yard marker, and the ball was over. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. I don't think there's much controversy about that. Yeah, I think that spreads way too much. Yeah, he got in. He didn't get in by much, but he got in. Thank you, Stephen McNeely. I appreciate it. (13-10) Vanderbilt. Extra point makes it 14-10. Okay, let's go to the Southeastern Conference. We've been through the other three Power 4 conferences. Now let's take a look at the Southeastern Conference games today. Some big ones, some major ones. Vanderbilt is up 14-10 over LSU. This is a huge game in the Southeastern Conference race, in the race to the college football playoffs. Oklahoma 7, South Carolina 0. South Carolina does have the ball at Oklahoma's 9-yard line. First down and goal. You got Ole Miss, Georgia. Big, massive football game. Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 9, Georgia Bulldogs. Ole Miss is 3-0 in the SEC. Georgia is 3-1. Massive game. Couldn't get any bigger. Mississippi State, Florida. Can Billy Napier survive another week? Can he get this win? Texas A&M, Arkansas. Texas A&M 6-0, 3-0 in the Southeastern Conference, going against Bobby Petrino, who's coaching for his head coaching position if he's the interim right now. If Arkansas can upset Texas A&M, it will go a long way for Bobby Petrino to get the nod. Texas A&M has got everything out in front of them, baby. Everything out in front of them. Texas A&M, this could be it. This could be it. This could be the season to finally punch through, get to the Southeastern Conference Championship game and win it. Bama, Texas A&M right now are the class of the Southeastern Conference. Texas, Kentucky. I do not expect much from Kentucky tonight. Tennessee and Alabama. You must be from Tennessee because you are the only 10 I see. No, Tennessee is not 10. They're number 11 in the country. 11. Alabama is number 6. This is a moment now. Josh Heupel. This is a moment. This is a moment. It's time for the Volunteers to punch on through. Missouri, Auburn. You guys know how I feel about Missouri. I think they're a very, very good football team. They're going to have to prove it on the road against the Auburn Tigers. Who is injured in this Michigan-Washington game? Another guy is being carried out on a stretcher for Michigan. Did you see who that was? I did not see who that was. We got another super chat. Very generous super chat. Who got injured for Michigan? Oh, was that for Washington? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I thought that was a Michigan player. My bad. Scott Grable, thank you for the $5 holla, the super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your generosity. Alabama Crimson Tide. Thank you so very much. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on here, Scott Grable. Appreciate it. Nebraska couldn't block. And to quote Greg, if you can't block, you can't win. Well, Minnesota was not able to block. Minnesota, going into that game last night, out of 136 FBS programs, Minnesota was 127 in rushing yards. The Gophers, who have been top 10 in FBS and rushing yards over the last decade. Minnesota has not been able to block anybody. But against Nebraska, just like Maryland, just like everybody's been able to run on Nebraska. Minnesota does not have an excellent chance, Expedition Greg. They're going to have to win the Big Ten championship. They would have to win all the rest of their games. That's not an excellent chance. I love you, Expedition Greg. I love you. But your maroon and gold Kool-Aid that you have next into the kitchen, next to your scarlet and gray Kool-Aid, you're spiking it a little bit too much. The Gophers would have to beat Oregon. The Gophers would have to beat the Buckeyes. And the Gophers would have to win all the other games. It's not happening. But the Gophers do have a chance, a possibility to get to a very good bowl game. And the Gophers have won, I don't know how many bowl games in a row. It's a lot. Because PJ Fleck takes everything so seriously. It is first down and 10, Michigan's football at their 7-yard line. Nothing there for Michigan. Nothing there. First down, Michigan. Houston has tied it up against Arizona. All eyes on the Houston Cougars. Willie Fritz, 14-14. There it is. The Houston Cougars, 5-1, 2-1 in the Big 12. He's doing at Houston what he did at Tulane. Willie Fritz. Man, that was another good run by LSU. The Tigers are moving the ball. The Tigers are moving the ball. TCU touchdown, up 14-7 over Baylor. UConn 17, Boston College 3. Duke still has not scored a point in the Georgia Tech game. 7-0 Georgia Tech off a defensive score. Vanderbilt is up 14-10 over LSU. But LSU is driving. Oklahoma 7, South Carolina nothing. South Carolina did not get any points. UCF 7, West Virginia nothing. Nussmeier, first down LSU. There is a flag. There is a flag. First down LSU. Now, at halftime, I'm going to be taking a 15 to 20 minute break. I hope to see you all back here in the second half. I think we're going to have a lot of good, close, dramatic finishes. Georgia Tech and Duke, 7-0, Georgia Tech. Michigan is up 7-0 over Washington. And our big game that we're covering today, Vanderbilt, LSU. Vanderbilt is up 14-10. Nussmeier gets it out there. Broken tackle by Green again. The big tight end from LSU got about 6 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 4. Another broken tackle. Vanderbilt is not able to get the LSU Tigers down to the ground. Second and 4. Nussmeier, quick throw. We got another flag. Could that be offsides on Vanderbilt? Nope, illegal procedure, pre-snap penalty on the LSU Tigers. Duke has outplayed Georgia Tech in every stat except for the scoreboard. Thank you, Kenneth Maynor. Appreciate it. Third and 14 for Michigan. Duke's got it 1st and 10 at Georgia Tech's 41-yard line. 2:32 to go in the first half. Nussmeier barely got rid of it as he got hammered. Nussmeier is nicked up once again. 4th and 8 LSU. Nussmeier is struggling. He got hit on that. Yeah, he got hit right when he let go of the football. LSU field goal attempt. Ramos, 52-yard field goal attempt. And it's off to the right. It's no good. No good. Vanderbilt takes over. 2:33 to go in the first half. Vanderbilt 14, LSU 10. Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly needs to win this game, guys. He needs to win this game. He needs to win this game. He cannot go down to Vanderbilt and lose this game. This is about your playoffs chances. This is about going into the Southeastern Conference Championship game. This is about keeping your job for the LSU Tigers. This is about not having to do a big buyout. LSU needs to win this football game. Period. Am I being unfair? Missed field goal, Michigan. Missed field goal, Michigan. Am I being unfair? Am I? This is it. LSU Tigers cannot lose this game. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. This is LSU's Tigers schedule after Vanderbilt. At home against Texas A&M. At Alabama. Okay? Now, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, Oklahoma. You can win the rest of those games. Okay. So if you lose one of these two games, you are going to be, you probably end up with a 9-3. Okay. You split the Texas A&M, Alabama games. You are 9-3. Are you good enough to make it as a 9-3 team? What is your biggest victory? Your biggest victory is against Clemson, Florida. It's against Clemson. I don't know. You cannot lose this Vanderbilt team. You cannot lose this game. Because I don't think you're going to be able to sweep Texas A&M and Vanderbilt. That's just my opinion. I don't think you can do that. Now for Vanderbilt, you've got Missouri at home, which is going to end up being another elimination game. You got at Texas, Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, and then it's Tennessee. So if you win this LSU game and you split the Texas-Missouri game, that'd be your second loss if you split that game. You could very well be playing Tennessee for a playoff spot at Tennessee. When that would be crazy. That would be electrifying. Vanderbilt at Tennessee for a potential playoff spot. His buyout is stupid big. Christopher Hooter. Brian Kelly is safe. That's incomplete. Is that buyout like James Franklin's buyout? James Franklin is a $49.5 million, $50 million buyout. But if James Franklin has to look for another head coaching job or a job in media, and James Franklin gets a job, some of that $50 million is mitigated. They don't have to pay the whole $50 million. So is Brian Kelly's buyout, is that the same as James Franklin? Where maybe LSU does not have to pay for the whole thing. Look at that big defensive play by Weeks, the great linebacker for LSU. It's going to be third and long. Third and long. Thank you, Steel Austin. Thank you, Utah Utes. Steel Austin is getting ready for the Holy War. Utah, BYU. A monster game in the state of Utah and the Big 12 Conference. Third and long. 2 minutes to go. Again, at halftime, I'm going to be taking a 15 to 20 minute break. I hope to see you guys all in the second half. %90 old upon firing. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. We got a very generous super chat by John Teal. LSU is the best job, hands down. Pass on Penn State, Florida State, Florida. LSU is the only one that can have a 100% in-state recruiting class and never fall out of the top 10. Kiffin is waiting in the weeds. John Teal, thank you for the $10 holla. Thank you so much for your super chat, your generosity once again, John Till. I don't know. What is a better job, LSU or Florida? Yeah, I think it all depends on what you're looking for. Kiffin, would he rather go to Florida or LSU? I think Kiffin would rather go to Florida. But John Teal, you make a very good, LSU's recruiting is ironclad. No question about it. But it's not just about, your recruiting rankings. It's about getting the right guys for your system. Thank you, John Till. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you. Michigan is still up 7-0. Nothing has changed in that game. Washington does have it in Michigan's territory. Third and 12, Vanderbilt. Up 14-10. Pavia, shotgun. Back to pass. He's rolling out. Nope. Back in the pocket. He dumps it off. Now he's short. LSU's going to get the football back before the end of the half. Is Kiffin wanting to leave Ole Miss? I don't know. Still Austin, I don't know. I do not know. Again, these coaches are so competitive. They're always thinking, if I can go somewhere that has a little bit more resources, a little bit better recruiting grounds, I can make a big difference. And as great as Ole Miss has been under Lane Kiffin, and before they had success, before Lane Kiffin got there, I think Florida is considered a better opportunity. But maybe Lane Kiffin, and of course LSU, but maybe he doesn't want to leave Ole Miss. Maybe he's fallen in love with it. Kenneth Maynard, TD Duke. Pass complete. First down, LSU. OPD done. Kiffin did labor hard for the LSU job. Vanderbilt makes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Rodney Richborg, the defense finally made a play. Okay, let's see here. Let's get back and check the scores of the other games. Duke 7, Georgia Tech 7. So Duke did score. Georgia Tech's only points is a defensive scoop and a score. Darren Mensah is 16 of 21 for 193. Haynes King is 6 of 7 for 39 yards. Duke has tied it up with the number 12th ranked team in the land, the Georgia Tech Rambling Wreck. Oklahoma 7, South Carolina 0. Those are your top 25 scores. UConn is up 17-13 over Boston College. Houston has taken a 21-14 lead over Arizona. Houston might be in the top 25 next week. TCU 14, Baylor 10. Tulane and Army tied at 3-3. Incomplete. 4th and 12. UCF 14, West Virginia nothing. John Till. Another field goal attempt for LSU. This time it's not a 52-yarder, it's a 42-yarder. And it is good. What a game. 14-13. John Till. Lane Kiffin sent his daughter to check things out for him. His daughter is going out with Weeks, the great linebacker for LSU. So John Till is all over this reporting. The daughter has been sent to check out the LSU landscape. Thank you, John Till. Thank you for your $2 holla. I do think Weeks is a senior, right? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm thinking of his older brother. I know he had an older brother that played at LSU. L. Woody, LSU, Florida, Georgia players on the roster, not counting Alabama players. Has 17 Florida, Georgia players. Expedition Greg, 14-0 UCF over West Virginia. GP, go Cougs. AMAC, go Baylor. Kenneth Stromness, BYU. I want to watch 5 games, but I only can watch up to 4. Lots of good close games at the moment. Yeah, I think we're going to have a dramatic second half in many of these games. I tell you, Washington's got to put up some points here. Georgia Tech, end of the half, 7-7. Washington does score a touchdown, ties it up. They're giving it to him. No, yes. Jonah Coleman, 1 yard run. So Washington did tie it up by the end of the half. Pass complete. Vanderbilt, they're not satisfied. 34 seconds to go in the half. Boston College has taken the lead over UConn. Washington has tied it. Pass incomplete. Going to be 2nd down and 10, Vanderbilt. Pass complete, 1st down, Vanderbilt, 23 seconds to go. He throws it out of bounds. It is 17 seconds to go. Empty backfield. Back to pass. Pavia rolls it out. He's going to run for it. He's going to run, and Vanderbilt is going to get a field goal attempt out of this. 11 seconds to go. Third and 1. Okay, 6 seconds to go. Vanderbilt should be lining up. I saw that Expedition Greg. James Franklin, thank you, sir. Basically, James Franklin, we talked about it earlier, what he said. He wants to coach again. Wherever he coaches, the goal is going to be to win a national championship. He is surprised that he got let go. Field goal attempt, Vanderbilt. The kick, it looks good. It was a great kick. 17-13. Two seconds to go in the half. And guys, so I'm going to take a 15 to 20 minute break. I'll be here back for the second half. I hope you all join us. I do appreciate you all coming on in. And Preston from Greensboro, Expedition Greg, Has Been, Ryan Willie, Scott Grable, John Teal. Thank you guys so much for your donations to help us keep the lights on, all your support. I appreciate you all coming on in here. I'll see you all back here in the second half. We've got Washington, Michigan tied. We've got Georgia Tech, Duke tied. We've got Vanderbilt up by 4 over LSU. The second half is going to be filled with drama. Come back in the second half. Put down your comments and thoughts in the comments section below the video in real time. Buckle up, brace for impact. Week 8, big noon games. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. I'll see you all back here 15 to 20 minutes. I'll get back here as quick as I can. Thank you, guys. Second and 10, Vanderbilt. Welcome back. Second half. Vandy 17, LSU 13. Michigan, Washington, all tied up at 7-7. Houston 21, Arizona 14. TCU 21, Baylor 10. Duke and Georgia Tech tied up at 7, but Duke is about to punch it in. Duke is at the 1-yard line of Georgia Tech, midway through the third quarter. It's going to be third and short for Vanderbilt. Pass complete, third and short. Duke is about to take the lead over 12th ranked Georgia Tech. Buckle up, brace for impact. Buckle up, brace for impact. Third and 2, Vanderbilt. LSU's 47-yard line. Might be in 4-down territory here. Option, pitch. He gets it, breaks it. 30, 25, down to the 21-yard line. First down, Vanderbilt. LSU had no answer for that option play for the LSU Tigers. No answer. Jet sweep, Vanderbilt, another 8 yards. Second and 2. Fourth and goal for Duke at Georgia Tech's 1-yard line. Anderson Castle runs for no gain. Fourth and goal, Duke. Second and second, Vanderbilt at the 11-yard line of LSU. Pavia hands it off. Oh, broken tackle, first down. LSU had the running back for a loss. But a broken tackle, first down, Vanderbilt, first and goal. Vanderbilt has taken this opening drive in the second half. Kalani, yes, I did not watch it, but I saw the highlights. Otani, probably the most brilliant performance of a baseball player in the history of the game. For one game, option, there's nobody there for LSU. Vanderbilt gets an easy 7, 5, 6 yards. Houston 28, Arizona 14. Houston, another good pass by Underwood. Bryce Underwood makes some really good throws at times where he puts it right where the receiver can keep running. I mean, he does. That Underwood kid's got some real talent, I tell you. Pavia keeps it rolling out. I don't think it's a touchdown. I think he's short. It's going to be third and goal at the 1-yard line. Third and goal. Duke kicks a field goal to take this 10-7 lead. Interesting. Wow. Wow. Wide open. The LSU Tigers defense has no answer for this. None whatsoever. (24-13). As we said at the beginning of the show, and we have repeated it over and over and over again, LSU, for them to win this game, it was going to have to be done on the offensive side of the field. They were going to have to score over 20 points. LSU was not going to be able to win this game 20-17, 17-13, 14-10, 10-6. LSU was going to have to score. LSU's offense had a pretty good offense in the first half. They're going to have to repeat it in the second half and a little bit more to win this game. This is on the LSU's offense. The defense ain't happening today. Not happening. 24-13, Vanderbilt. 24-13, excuse me. James C., go Army. Stephen McNeely, Army's up 10-3. Holy smokes. Okay, let's go through the scores real quick. Again, thank you all for joining us here in the second half. I appreciate it. Vanderbilt 24, LSU 13. The game we are covering. Duke 10, Georgia Tech 7. Undefeated Georgia Tech. 3-0 Georgia Tech. Duke is 3-0. Duke has got the lead 10-7. Washington, Michigan. Tied up at 7-7. Washington's got the ball back, but deep in their own territory. UConn 24, Boston College 0. Houston 28, Arizona 14. Houston 28. Houston about to go 6-1, 3-1 in the Big 12. The Houston Cougars made the right coaching hire when they got Willie Fritz. TCU 28, Baylor 10. Tulane 15. Army 15. Tulane 3. Major upset in the American. And again, it would crush my prediction. Another one of my teams. I've got Tulane at the beginning of the season at the 12th seed. That is about to go pear-shaped, along with about 90% of my preseason prediction. Bowling Green is down 27-6 at Central Michigan. At home, against Central Michigan. Miami of Ohio 21, Eastern Michigan 14, Oklahoma 14, South Carolina, they did just score a touchdown, cut the lead in half. West Virginia also cut this lead in half. UCF was up 14-7. Toledo is down 7-0 against Kent State. Very disappointing Toledo season thus far. Those are some of the games that are going on. LSU returns the kickoff down to the 25-yard line. Vanderbilt is up 24-13. And again, Brian Kelly is going to feel the heat after this game. LSU's got to play Texas A&M at home. The Texas A&M at home. And then LSU's got to go on the road to play Alabama after this game. This is a much needed win for the LSU Tigers. And I've also got to say this. Southeastern Conference, you're looking at programs like Vanderbilt that can come up and beat the top echelon teams in the SEC. You may want to support that large automatic qualifying college football playoff format. Sankey, Southeastern presidents, athletic directors, you might want to take another look. You might want to take another look. Don Scruggs agrees with me. Wendy Scruggs agrees with me. Everybody agrees with me. Yankee faking Southern, you can't. Hold on a second. Still trying to finish up my lunch here. I don't even have a Yankee accent. I have a northern Minnesota accent. Completely different. Completely different. Back to pass, Nussmeier, complete! First down, LSU tag is first down. Here we go. Here we go. Kenneth Maynard, absolutely fitting that Army and Navy is in the American. Proud to have them as conference. Oh, that was for the coach. Okay. Well, I can be accused of the same thing, you know. Although I'm purposely doing the fake accent. So I guess it's not the same thing. What do you think, GB? What do you think? Brian Kelly? I know it's a big buyout, but man, there are high expectations at LSU. And we're, guys, this is no longer a 4-team college football playoffs. This is a 12-team college football playoffs. So LSU has all the... What a play. What a play! First, his goal! 40, 30, 20, 10. Broken tackle, broken tackle.
Touchdown!
Wow. That might change the game. Nussmeier.
Touchdown!
62-yard touchdown LSU. Broke 1,000 tackles on that play. Holy smokes. What a play. That could be the play right there. That could be it, ladies and gentlemen. That could be it. Berrien Thomas. No, Thomas. It was not Berrien Brown. Holy smokes. Xavier Thomas. What a play. What an absolute stunner. That could be it. That could be the play right there. They're going for two. Nussmeier unloads it. And it's good. What a pass to the big tight end. Green is 24-21. Okay. As we said at the beginning of the game, LSU's offense was going to need to win this game. Not the defense, the offense. They got over 20 now. LSU's got over 20. They got over 20. And again, per the tradition of PATC, when we have a competitive game in the middle of the third quarter, there's 6:52 to go. When a game is within 10 points, we play none other as celebration of all of us being here, having a great time, watching a competitive, important college football game. We play the mariachi. the third, Xavier Thomas. Incredible play by wide receiver, LSU Tiger, Xavier Thomas. That could have been the play. That could have been the play to turn around everything for LSU. Oh boy, we got a great game here. We got a great game. Any game that we would have picked between Michigan, Washington, Georgia Tech, Duke in this game was the correct pick. But I really wanted to do this game because this game has a little bit more at stake than even the other two. And the other two games have a lot at stake. I mean, Michigan, Washington, both those teams still have a route to the college football playoff. Same with Georgia Tech, even Duke. But this game means so much to both these programs. If Vanderbilt can win this game, now they can look, they got a shot. Vanderbilt Commodores have got a shot. They've got a chip, a chair, and a chance. They're at the table. They got at least one chip to throw on the table if Vanderbilt wins this game. And of course, LSU Tigers really need to win this game. So we went with this game, 24-21, 2nd and 1. Handoff, good vision by the running back of Vanderbilt. That is a first down. We got Bill G, new 5 gifted memberships. Marcus Williams, Tar Heel Paul, Gene Calderon, L Quick Cuts, Joshua Irby. When you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Bill G in the chat room for once again his kindness, generosity to the PATC family members. All of you are knighted. College footballs. Peek around the corner. Cloak and dagger. And there is a lot of cloak and dagger going on in college football. More than ever. Everybody's talking with everybody. There's a lot of positioning going on. Possible public capital investment. Saudi Arabia discussions. Realignment never sleeps. Stick with us here. Peek around the corner. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Smash the like button if you like our content. Thank you, Bill G. I appreciate it. Marcus, Tar Heel, Paul, Gene, L, Quick Cuts, Joshua, you all now are a member of this channel, our family. Congratulations. Pavia is just tough. 2nd down and 10, and he runs it, and it's going to be 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 Vanderbilt. Pavia rolls out. Going long. It's incomplete, but we do have a flag. It might be pass interference, holding on LSU. Play action. Pavia rolls out, dumps it deep. You need to do a watch party for Florida State and Stanford tonight. Duke 10-10. Fourth and 1, they must have picked up the flag, huh? 4th and 1. Vanderbilt, I think, is probably going to go for it. 3:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. LSU defense, you got to stand up right now. You got to stand up right now. Pavia is going to keep it again. Oh my gosh! First down. First down. What a play. What a play by Pavia. He was being rushed. He kept himself alive. They had that screen set up on the other side of the field, but he had to wait on it. He had to wait on it. What a play by Pavia. What a play, what a play, what a play. Holy smokes. Georgia Tech and Duke are tied at 10. Georgia Tech with their first offensive points of the game. 10-10. Michigan, Washington tied up at 7 each. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. UConn up 24-20. Houston up 28-14. But Arizona is in the red zone of Houston. TCU 28, Baylor 10. Army, Tulane are tied up at 10-10. Oklahoma has a 14-7 lead over South Carolina. Pavia hands it off. Got a couple of yards. 2nd down and 8. 2nd down and 8. Boy, the tension is high. Week 8. Week 8. Second and 8. What's the call? Offsides or nope, it's on Vanderbilt. On Vanderbilt. It's going to be 2nd and long. Vanderbilt cannot afford to do that. Can't afford to get behind the chains. 2nd and 8. No, 2nd and 13 now. Excuse me. 2nd and 13. These are going to be close games right down to the stretch. Michigan, Underwood, trying to run for first down. It looks like he got it. Maybe a little bit short. Duke and Georgia Tech tied at 10. Pavia going deep. Pavia going deep. Did he get held? Yes, he did. The ref had to throw the flag. It looked like an obvious hold. You can't make it look so obvious. There's 2 ways to hold. There's the old clutch and grab hold, and then there's just holding the jersey. Look at that. You can't do that. You can't make it that obvious. First down, Vanderbilt. First down, Vanderbilt. Expedition Greg, Michigan. Can't move the ball again in Washington. 2nd and 4. Pavia. Complete. First down. First down, Vanderbilt. How many times has Vanderbilt punted this game? Does anybody have an answer? How many times has Vanderbilt punted in this game? I think it's 0. Let me know. I could be wrong. Georgia Tech and Duke are heading into the fourth quarter. Washington and Michigan heading out to the fourth quarter soon here. Pavia, wide open, touchdown, Vanderbilt.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Woo! My, oh my. My, oh my. Thank you, Opie. I didn't think they had a punt. Wow. Nessmeyer, who's had a good game, who's hurting. I don't know if he's injured, but he's definitely hurt. They've been hitting him, but he's been getting it through. He's been staying on the field. Garrett Nessmeyer has been making plays this game. And Xavier Thomas made an incredible play off a Nessmeyer pass. Ran it for a 62-yard touchdown reception. They're going to need more of that and more of that and more of that because they're still down 10 points. The defense cannot make a stop. Vanderbilt is all lathered up. The Commodores are all lathered up. 31-21, interception, Michigan. Number 23 read that. Michigan's got it deep in Washington's territory. Deadman Williams. Oh, he wished he could have that throwback. Going in the fourth quarter, Georgia Tech, Duke are all tied up 10-10. That game has so much significance. Georgia Tech is in, look. Let me show you. Oh, Greg, that game doesn't mean anything. Greg, you love college football too much, Greg. Blah. You follow, you need to stick with one conference. Greg, you need to stick with the Golden Gophers. All you know about is the Golden Gophers. All you know about is Golden Gopher propaganda. You shouldn't be talking about the ACC. You shouldn't be talking about our Southeastern Conference. You shouldn't even be talking about the Sun Belt. Touchdown, Michigan. Okay, we'll get back to that. Touchdown, Michigan. Look at this. Georgia Tech is 3-0. Duke is 3-0. Virginia is 3-0. In the conference, SMU plays Clemson. Miami just lost that game last night to Louisville. The Golden Bears. The ACC race. To get to the conference championship game, it is on. And if Georgia Tech loses that game, holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. If Georgia Tech wins that game, they are looking mighty fine. Look at this schedule the rest of the way. Syracuse, North Carolina State, Boston College, Pitt for the ACC games. What a mighty important game. Now, wow. Massive game in the ACC. Massive game. This game, whoo, boy, we talked about how LSU needed to score points today to win this game. They were not going to keep Vandy down. They did not keep Vandy down. I think Nussmeier has done his part quite well. He's getting hit. He's staying in the game. He's making some plays. The problem is they're going to have to do it over and over and over again. And a problem is LSU cannot lean on their running game at all. At all. Vanderbilt has ran for 180 yards. LSU has ran for 42 yards. Now, again, if you're going to run it, you're going to have to give it to Barry. They just did give it to Barry. Barry's got, is that Barry? Yeah, that's Barry. He's got some juice. Vanderbilt closed down on that pretty quick. 2nd and 5. 0 punts in the game, not one. Thank you, Opie. Thank you. I didn't even realize that. Thank you. Michigan has a 14-7 lead over Washington. Thank you, James C. I appreciate it. Talk about it all, Greg. Thank you. I appreciate it, James C. Thank you for the kind words. 28-21 Houston. It's surprising to me that the Houston Cougars defense have given up 21 points. Because that Cougars defense is pretty good. It's pretty good. So, Tulane Army is an interesting in the American. Yeah, no question about it, Michael Haas. OPD Dodd, nobody has punted. Nobody has punted. What happened in the Michigan game? We get another turnover. What happened? What happened in the Michigan game? Again, I'm about 15 seconds behind you on the Michigan game. Yeah, we got another interception. Very poor pass by Denman Williams. That was not a good throw. That was a very poor thrown football. Michigan has got the ball again. Georgia Tech 10, Duke 10. Georgia Tech has the ball at their 40-yard line. 1st down and 10. 13:40 to go in the 4th quarter. Underwood is 19 of 25, 192 yards. What's interesting about this is now both of these quarterbacks are really, really young. Demon Williams and Bryce Underwood are really young. Underwood has outplayed Williams. Williams is 20 of 31, 209 yards, 2 interceptions. Bryce Underwood is 19 of 25, 192 yards, and a touchdown. Okay, Georgia Tech, Haynes King, pass complete to Isaiah Canyon, 30 yards. They're at the Duke's 27-yard line. Holt Hosley runs for a yard. It's 2nd and 9 at Duke's 26-yard line. South Carolina starts the ball at the third quarter, down 14-7 to Oklahoma. Oklahoma needs to win that game. The Sooners need to win that game. They're up 14-7. Back to pass. Nessmeyer. First down, the big tight end. Boy, that guy's good. Number 14. First down, tied. James C., the ACC refs are useless. Nebraska can have whole goal. You are welcome, Greg. Thank you, GB. Thank you to the Mountaineer fans or the Houston Cougar fans. Yeah, I don't know. Tough situation in Lincoln. I thought we had it tough here at Minnesota with our offensive line. Nebraska has it even worse, and South Carolina has it even worse than Nebraska and Minnesota. That's why South Carolina only has 7 points right now. And they cannot do anything with Lenore Sellers, who, by the way, Lenore Sellers has a great skill set. He can throw the football, guys, and of course he can run it. He's a beast of an athlete. He's got a great throwing motion. He can throw the football. But with the Gamecocks offensive line, it's rough. If Lenore Sellers was behind if he was behind Miami's offensive line, if he was behind the Ohio State Buckeyes offensive line, yikes. Boy, what a different Vandy team. Clark Lee is 20-1 when leading after 3 quarters. No, down to the 2-yard line. Big run, and guess who it was? It was Caden Durham, who's been nicked up right down the middle of the field. LSU, 1st and goal. Oh, almost down there, half-yard line, 2nd and goal. Here comes the LSU Tigers. Berry and Brown, 2nd and goal. Golden Bear uniforms look like Grambling last night. California Golden Bears sneak out a victory against the North Carolina Tar Heels. First and goal, Georgia Tech at the Duke's 5-yard line. 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma 3rd and 4 at South Carolina's 43-yard line. Georgia Tech is trying to take a lead. Trying to get their first offensive touchdown of the game. Second and goal, Haynes King with no yards. First down rushing attempt. LSU, when we get back from the commercial, LSU will have it second and goal at Vanderbilt's 1-yard line. Yep, I did see Darius Taylor. Yep, I sure did, Expedition Greg. The Beast, is he back again? For the 3rd year in a row, Darius Taylor, the first half of the season, he's got a soft tissue injury. The second half of the season, he's an absolute beast. So I don't know. They got to figure it out. I think Darius Taylor is probably going to come back next year. I think his future in the NFL is as a third down back. He's great out of the backfield, catching the football. He's also very good at pass protection. I don't think he has the speed for an NFL running back. But I think he's going to have to come back next year because he's just been too injured. Touchdown, LSU. Touchdown! No. Pre-snap penalty, LSU. 4th and goal. Second and goal. Direct hand, snap, nothing there. It's going to be 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. Now look, Vanderbilt, LSU, they can go for a field goal here. If they don't make it, they're down 10. They're down 10. Nessmeyer, back to pass. Closing in on him. He's scrambling. He throws it. Oh, almost an interception. Okay, LSU Tigers, you're going to have to kick the field goal here. Going to have to kick the field goal. Michigan, 3rd and 11. What a pass by Underwood. Underwood is not he's not, he is what he is, right? This is not the finished product of Bryce Underwood. But that throw right there, that throw he just made, that is at the very height of elite passing. The young man has got so much talent. He just needs more time. He just needs to play. He needs to play Big Ten football. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. If Michigan goes in the portal and gets some big time wide receiver production out of the portal, Michigan is going to be a handful next year. Michigan will be back in 2026. They're going to be back next year in 2026. Underwood is going to be a monster next year, but he does need weapons. 31-24. That was not a comment on the Buckeyes. I'm not saying the Buckeyes are going anywhere. I'm saying Michigan's going to be Michigan next year. They might not be able to beat Ohio State. Although, Underwood, touchdown, Michigan. It was not a shot at the Buckeyes or Oregon or anybody else, Indiana, that wants to be at the top of the conference. But Michigan is going to be... They're going to be... they are going to be one of the favorites next year in the country. In my opinion. But Bryce Underwood, he just needs to play this year. He needs to get a full year under him. And they need some weapons. I mean, they need some speed. And of course, Michigan's not out of it this year, right? Obviously, they're not out of it this year. We've got a generous super chat. The Evil Badger, Ryan Willie. Ryan Willie is getting ready. Ryan Willie. When Ryan Willie entered into Campbell Stadium, Camp Randall, when he walked in there, basically Ryan Willie said, "Kings and queens, step aside," because now enters into PATC Mr. Ryan Willie. Made it to Camp Randall to see Bucky get embarrassed today. Who knows, Ryan? Who knows? This Ryan Willie could be one of the greatest upsets in Big Ten lore today. And why is that? Because you, Ryan Willie, have shown your commitment, your love, your passion. You have entered into the stadium against the mighty Buckeyes. Against the mighty Buckeyes. Could this be it? Could Luke Fickell, holding arm in arm, locked in with Ryan Willie, Jeff Olson, and the rest of the Evil Badgers that I do know and love and respect, could this be the making of one of the largest upsets ever? Wisconsin is completely down. They're completely out. They just lost 37-0 to Iowa. I think they're playing their third, fourth straight quarterback once again. The Buckeyes don't give up points. The Buckeyes score at will. Who's going to cover Jeremiah Smith? Who's going to cover Carnell Tate? But maybe, just maybe, this one given Saturday, with the great Ryan Willie. He's got his hot dog. He's got his Coke. He's got mustard on the hot dog. He's probably got, God forbid, he's probably got cheese on the hot dog. Wisconsin, Ohio State. Good luck, Ryan Willie. Good luck to you. Thank you for the $5 holla. I appreciate it so very much. So very much. Julian saying Jeremiah Smith will be back next year. The Buckeyes at USC at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Michigan should be ranked after this week if they hold off and win. Michigan 21, Washington 7. There are many people that thought Washington should have been ranked and not Nebraska at number 25. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Appreciate it. All right, guys, let's get our heads back into this here. Let's get our heads back into this. LSU 24, Vanderbilt 31. Vanderbilt had to punt the ball back to LSU. Vanderbilt actually had to punt the ball. LSU's got the rock. 8:55 to go in the fourth quarter. LSU is not out of this game. Georgia Tech 13. Duke 10. Oklahoma 14. South Carolina 7. Those are some of the scores. Let me get to the other ones here. Hold on. We got Michigan 21. Washington 7. UConn 37. Boston College 23. Oh my goodness. Houston 28. Arizona 27. Weather delayed. TCU 35. Baylor 21. Army 17. Tulane 10. 5:50 go in the game. A very important game in the American Conference. Central Michigan 27. Bowling Green 6. 37-14 Miami of Ohio. UCF 14. West Virginia 7. Toledo, Kent State tied up at 10. I think we got another injury. Who's injured now? We got a Michigan injury. There's a lot of injuries in this Michigan-Washington game. Don't like to see that. A lot of injuries. It's all tied up at 28. Houston. My goodness. Yeah, some really good games. Down goes Nussmeier. Big sack. Ooh, that was a big tackle for loss. Big sack, guys. Nussmeier could not get out of that one. His left tackle got destroyed on that. You got some yards back on that 2nd and 20. It's going to be third down. It's going to be third down now. 28-28, Arizona, Houston. 38-23, UConn over Boston College. Michigan up 21-7. Georgia Tech up 13-10. They got the ball at the Duke's 48-yard line. Look, Nessmeyer, do not force this. Don't force it. No, if it's not there, don't go for it. 3rd and 16. We got a flag. We got a completion to Berry and Brown, but it looks like we're going to have a holding call on LSU. It's going to be 3rd and a country mile. Again, the left tackle. No, that's not the left tackle. That was the right tackle. Third and 26. Inside handoff. LSU is going to have to punt it, and I think that might be the first time they're punting it all day today. 31-24. Vanderbilt is going to get the ball back. Now, can Pavia run out the clock? Brian Kelly shaking his head on the sidelines. Vanderbilt is this close. Vanderbilt is this close from going 6-1. Fourth and 3 for Washington. Another penalty, pre-snap penalty on Washington. Second and 13. Washington's Pavia. Pass complete. Pass complete. Not a first down, but it's a manageable third down. Jose, the final installment at South Bend of Irish Trojans tonight. Oh, incomplete. He almost had that. Vanderbilt's going to have to punt it back, and they didn't really run off enough clock. 4:48 to go. LSU's going to get another crack at it. I don't know, Jose. We did an early peak Cloak and Dagger episode many months ago. If you go through our catalog of our membership only episodes, you see we did an episode that we believed that it wasn't going to be an annual series anymore. And I don't think it is going to be. I think it's going to be once in a while, but not every year. I think unless something drastically changes. Georgia Tech, touchdown. Tulane, Army tied. Georgia Tech, did that close the door on Duke? Georgia Tech, the number 12th team in the country. On the road, touchdown, 20, Duke 10. The Rambling Wreck of Georgia Tech are feeling it, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling it. And obviously, if this game goes into overtime, this LSU game, LSU Vanderbilt, we are going to be covering the whole thing until the very end. But I want to give a little bit of time to say thank you for watching this game with me, for watching all of college football on this noon Eastern game times here on October 18th, week number 8 of the 2025 college football season. I appreciate you guys. I love college football. I watch it. I talk about it. That's pretty much all I do. Just ask the little general. So it is comforting to know that there are other college football sickos out there that are willing to watch college football with me. Thank you so very much. I also want to give a special thanks to those who've given a kind donation today to help us keep the lights on. Preston from Greensboro, Expedition Greg, Has Been, Ryan Willie, Scott Grable, John Till, and Bill G. Thank you guys so very much for your generosity. Thank you, James C. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Georgia Tech is up 10. Michigan is up 14. And they're about to put some more points on the board. But this LSU Vandy game, the Tigers are down 7, but they got the football. They've got the football. Here we go. Houston and Arizona are tied at 28 apiece. Houston has got the ball at Arizona's 45-yard line, 2nd and 6. Big defensive play by Vanderbilt. First down pass play, and the Tigers lost a couple of yards, I believe. It's going to be 2nd and long for LSU. What a play by Vanderbilt cornerback Davis Jr. 2nd and 13. Nussmeier shotgun. There's not going to be any punting on this drive. Pass complete. It's going to be 3rd and, I don't know, about 7. 3rd and 7. Houston's got the ball at the Arizona Wildcats 38-yard line. 2-minute warning. 2-minute timeout. Houston Cougars trying to go to 6-1, 3-1 in the Big 12. Back to pass. Incomplete. 4th and 8. I don't think you can punt this, LSU. You can't punt this ball. You got to go for it. You got to go for it. No, no, no! You got to go for it! They're not going to get the ball back.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on their fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement.
Look, I get it. 4th and 8 is a very difficult task. You're on the road, Vanderbilt, but my goodness, you're not going to get the ball back. You're not going to get the ball back. I guarantee it. I guarantee you're not. You have to make miracle plays to win on the road. You're down 7. You got to do it right there and then. You don't delay the loss. They're not getting the ball back.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Vanderbilt, you are moments away. Moments away. Moments. Their only hope was to make that 4th and 8 play. That was their only hope, and they didn't give themselves a shot. In my strongly held opinion. Thank Greg. It's been a pleasure. As always, you're going to have to do a doubleheader. We've done a lot of doubleheaders, not this year. I have a scheduling issue taking care of my mother this year, but we've done a lot of doubleheaders throughout the years, but not this year. But thank you, Scott Grabo. Maybe we can pull one off at some point. Second and 10. It is 1 minute and 30 to go in the fourth quarter. Houston's got the ball 28-28 against Arizona. Houston's got it at the 27-yard line of Arizona. So Houston is trying to close this game out, kick a field goal, whatever, to win the football game. Michigan's up 24-7 over Washington. That game is over. Army and Tulane are all tied up at 17-17. Tulane's got the ball at Army's 46-yard line. It is going to be about 3rd and 7 for Vanderbilt. 3rd and 7. Duke misses a field goal. Georgia Tech is going to survive. If Vanderbilt goes to the end of the season with a 9-2 record, in other words, they can lose one more game. If they go to the end of the season 9-2, they're going to be playing in Knoxville against Tennessee. And that game could very well decide if Vanderbilt goes to the college football playoffs. Think about that for a moment. Vanderbilt 31, LSU 24, 3rd and 7. Pavia's going to run it. He gets down at about the 2-yard line. 1st down and goal. Down for a field goal. The Houston Cougars going to try to win their 6th game of the year. Go 3-1 in the Big 12. Wow. There is the 2-minute timeout. Vanderbilt is up 31-24 over LSU. Holy smokes. It is good. Houston has made the field goal. Ethan Sanchez. The Houston Cougars are going 6-1, 3-1 in the Big 12. Let's take a look at the Big 12 standings. Let's take a look at the Big 12. Houston is going 3-1 right there. They're going to be 3-1. Arizona State has to play Texas Tech today. Utah plays BYU today. Cincinnati is probably going to get their 4th win in the Big 12 today. Willie Fritz, what a job Willie Fritz has done, and it's only his 2nd year at Houston. Wow. 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 Congratulations, GB. Wow, what a job. What a job. Georgia Tech gets outplayed, but still beats Duke. And now Georgia Tech just scored another touchdown. Oklahoma is defeating South Carolina 24-7. As the Gamecocks once again, no offense. Behind probably the worst offensive line in Power 4. Yes, I said it. I said it. It's probably the worst offensive line in the Power 4 conference. And they have been for quite a long time. They finally got rid of their offensive line coach last week. I think Shane Beamer might be in trouble. Because that's a complete wreck they got there going on. All of the Penn State's head coaching candidates losing this weekend. College Football Express, Rock and Rant. Lucky bounces for Tulane. Tulane 24, Army 17. It looks like Tulane might survive again. Who knows? Maybe John Summerall is a Penn State candidate. He's a candidate for all the other jobs. Jen Sumrall is a candidate for Arkansas. He's a candidate for Virginia Tech. Maybe he's a candidate for Penn State. Probably not. Second and goal. Vanderbilt looking to punch it in and looking to have a... No, they're just going to do victory formation. My apologies. Vanderbilt is going into victory formation. To the selection committee, can you please pay attention? Do not rip off Vanderbilt and say they only won by 7 against LSU at home against a top 10 team. They're going to win by 7 with an asterisk victory formation. Since we're not doing the automatic qualifiers, we got to do with this. So anyways, Vanderbilt, congratulations. Big victory for Vanderbilt. Big victory for Georgia Tech, the Houston Cougars, and the Michigan Wolverines. I want to thank all of you for joining us here at PATC Watch Party. Vanderbilt 31, LSU 24. Diego Pavia got it done. Garrett Nussmeier is on the sidelines having an emotional moment. Garrett Nussmeier gave it all he had. All he had. I thought he played pretty good under what was going on in that football game. I want to thank everybody. I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow, Sunday Aftermath show. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be quite the show. We've had some upset. We've had a lot of upsets already, and we haven't even gotten to the 3:30 Eastern games. So buckle up, brace for impact. Come together, come join us for the aftermath of Week 8 tomorrow afternoon. And again, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and before you leave, smash that like button. Final, Vanderbilt 31, LSU 24. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please y'all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family,